Finally, the true power of the CD-ROM format can be demonstrated. Magical Saurus Tour is one of those you really had to be there situations. If you weren't around in the early days of the multimedia revolution, then you're going to be completely bewildered by its existence. On the other hand, if you were around for it, then you're going to go, yep, that's what it was like. The first thing you have to know about Magical Saurus Tour is that it's not a game. Not even the smallest hint of a game-like thing. And I don't mean that in the ontological sense where we could debate if something like Gone Home is a game or a different kind of entertainment software. I mean that Magical Saurus Tour is a reference book turned into a CD-ROM that runs on the PC Engine. This is the first one of these that we've seen on the PC Engine, and honestly I don't know if there are any more. But it's not the first software title like this. As CD-ROM drives started getting pushed for home use, particularly in computers, one of the big questions was, what software can I run on this very expensive piece of hardware? Enter the Multimedia CD-ROM, a software package that would combine audio, video, and text into a brand new experience. And one of the most common approaches was to pick a topic and fill a CD with pictures and a narrator talking about it. While I can't say that these CDs were ever really popular, they did fill a niche in that period between the explosion of multimedia computers and the popularity of the World Wide Web. Magical Saurus Tour isn't even the only time that someone makes one of these discs about dinosaurs. After all, everybody loves pictures of dinosaurs. Magical Saurus Tour features narration by Banjo Ginga, one of those voice actors who's been in everything. Not a whole lot of starring roles, but he often played memorable villains. The US version, which, let's just flip over to that. Magical Dinosaur Tour didn't have the same caliber of voice acting.
And involving the largest and most powerful animals the Earth has ever seen.
That really sounds like whoever was in the office that day. But besides that, what do you get on this CD? Well, from the main menu, there's 7 options, but most of them will wind up taking you to the same place. The top choice is for getting an introduction from a mascot character who doesn't show up again, and some guidance on how to use the software. The next 4 choices all kind of link back to the same thing, just with different presentation. The most elaborate of these is the first one, which starts you out with a timeline, and you pick your period, then pick a geographic region, and you get a little scene showing you dinosaurs. Put the cursor over one of them, and if it's a book, it'll take you to some details. But if you see the A button, and you'll have to press button 1 since you don't have an A button, then a short animated scene with some narration plays out. These animations are often violent and bloody. You'll get to watch predators tear dinosaurs apart. And in one case, the dinosaur gives birth during the animation. I'll take that over the gore, it's just still really weird that it's there at all. The next option gives you an alphabetical list of all the dinosaurs, and you can just jump straight to their data. And then after that you have a tree of life where you can pick a dinosaur out from its evolutionary path. And then a lookup option that will let you look up dinosaurs by their taxonomic classification. The data screens that you access for the dinosaurs will show a picture of them, and then you can get more data, which might have a person in it for size comparison. And then there's often a short narrative presentation on some aspect of the dinosaur's biology. The next choice from the main menu is where they put all of the sidebars. There's a set of short narrated presentations about various things like how long dinosaurs live or what happened to dinosaur poop. And then there's a bunch of top 3 and bottom 3 lists. The final option from the menu just puts you into a presentation about theories on how the dinosaurs died off. And that brings me to one of the big questions that I think people would have over this. How accurate is the information? And I think it is actually fairly accurate for 1990. The extinction video, for example, talks about the iridium layer, something that was hotly debated at that time. There's a discussion of feathered dinosaurs, with only one of them being shown as feathered, but that was the only one that they were confident had feathers at that point. Now that said, paleontology has come a long way since 1990. A lot of the dinosaurs documented here have had their fossils re-examined, and it was found that the species was misidentified. There's no real discussion of avian dinosaurs. And there's plenty of other stuff that's been overturned as we've learned more. Now, I'm not blaming them for not knowing the future, but it's the fate of any kind of reference material like this. Science marches on, and it becomes out of date. Still, Magical Dinosaur Tour was a very good effort for 1990. If a kid got their hands on it at the time, then they'd have a fairly decent paleontology guide. The disc has information on 160 types of dinosaurs. There's roughly 80 different animations. This is honestly a really good effort. Of course, it's also something that people just don't think about anymore. There aren't many fans in Japan, though there are people who have fond memories of using it as a kid. And there's not a lot of reason to use it now. I would say maybe load it up and check out some of the animated scenes. See if you can pick out the scariest ones. The Magical Dinosaur Tour winds up being an interesting curiosity, not something that will hold a person's attention very long these days.